Hello, darlings, and a very warm welcome to what day is it? Tuesday. A very warm welcome to Tuesday Night Live, and I am tickled pink to be back with you and spending another hour in your fabulous company. Unless the internet goes all tits up again, like it did last night, and we get cut short. But hopefully, fingers crossed, that won't happen. So, yes, indeed, what a joy to be back with you. So, looking forward to the next hour where there are going to be all of the normal things that you've come to dread and fear from these community times that we spend together. We've got the Hedgehog of Truth, darlings, complete with his companion. I don't know why I always say it like that. Actually, I do know why I always say it like that, but it would take too long to explain. We've got Sean's box, which is going to get pounded. We've got a community portable electric telephonic device upon which you can, should you wish, leave a voice note. And we've got a gift from Skick that will probably be interesting because they, well, let's face it, they usually are, aren't they? Pardon me while I evacuate one of my nasal catastrophes. Now then, oh my goodness. Right, it was 8 degrees when I was coming home, but it felt really cold. But it was 8 degrees. Now, go back a couple of weeks, and if you'd have said to me, "How do you fancy driving home in 8 degrees?" I would have said, "Oh, please, that would be lovely. It would be so warm and toasty." But your things change, don't they? You forget that it was -9 a couple of weeks ago, and now you think, well, it's lovely during the day. It's lovely. The sun's shining. And you feel like toasty and warm, and the sun's on your skin and that. And then the sun goes down, and at night it gets down to like 8 degrees, and you think, bloody hell, it's freezing. But there we are, there we are. Everything's relative, isn't it, darlings? Everything is relative. Now, if you were going to be spanked with a wooden spatula, would you rather that happened when you were slightly too cold or slightly too warm? Now, there's a question for you to ponder. Right, okay. I am going to have a good old slurp of my drinkage because that is my want, or is it won't? Won't, want? WONT. Anyway, pronounce it how you like. Yeah, I mean, it's your own business. It's nothing to do with me. I cannot micromanage you, darlings. Neither can I take responsibility for any of your frailties. But then the other side of that coin is I can't take credit for your great strengths either. Gosh, the candle seems to have lost height quite rapidly, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to have a slurp of drinkage, and then I'm going to jump fetus firstus into your comments, which are, and I make no secret of this, the meat and potatoes of this prawn cocktail that we are all currently enjoying. God, is that still a thing? The ultimate 1970s starter, prawn cocktail in a Marie Rose sauce that people used to make at home when they were doing their own dinner parties. What was it they used to use? Was it tomato ketchup and mayonnaise to make a Marie Rose sauce? Oh, right. Actually, there's a feature for you. I mean, yeah, I love talking about food, and I know that some of you do too. Right. So, when you are entertaining, what is your go-to starter? As in your go-to starter that you would make for other people, or if you were hosting a community dinner party and the Bogs were coming round for dinner, what would be your starter? What starter would be on your menu? I would genuinely be interested to know that. And a follow-up question: what is your favorite starter to have cooked for you, or so to order in a restaurant or to have at somebody else's house or anything like that? And please do answer those, because I'd love to talk about those. I've got strong ideas of my own. Right, here we go. Not a clue. Cheers. Calm down. Che- Cheers, darlings. You're very good health. Bottoms up yours. Get stuffed. Ooh. I say ding dongs. Rather nice. First, first cab off the rank tonight was Jimmy Quinn, who says, good evening, Boaty, you know, because that's how he speaks, Jimmy. Followed by Stu, followed by Peter P. Paulie Galtieri, the lovely Richard. Alan Simpson. Alan Simpson. You can say, Boaty. Boaty, can I hold you tonight? Of course you can, Alan. Oh, you can hold me anytime. Good evening. Hope you're very well. Mark is with us, Bad Books. Oh, Shelley Denise. Hello, my lovely. Who else we got? Oh, Mystic Hair. Good evening, team. Steve McDonald, the lovely Steve. Oh, excuse me. Skick is here. Honest Deck, wishing everyone a good evening. Thank you for my as yet unknown gift, Skick. It's quite light, doesn't rattle. We'll open that in a minute. Lots and lots of hellos. Did we get the rest of last night's story? Asked Peter P. Well, you kind of got it on today's video because, the relevant voice notes are all in today's video, but I can run over it again if you would like me to. I can't remember how far I got last night. Somebody remind me, and I'll pick up on it. Fun fact, says Stu. High Peak is at the same elevation as Stoodley Pike. Stoodley Pike it's 1,300 feet, isn't it? So what do you mean by High Peak? Is there a thing, a High Peak thing? Because I thought High Peak was an area of the Peak District. You know, you've got High Peak, Dark Peak, White Peak, High Peak and Dale, and so on and so forth. Andrew Buttigieg is with us, the lovely Ivor Spotty Botty. Woodstock is here. A little gift for both, says Skick. Wanted to send Andrew Buttigieg one, but don't know his address. Just put Ivor Spotty Botty Australia. He'll probably get there. I love prawn cocktail, says Jimmy Quinn. Oh, good. We're getting on to the... are we getting on to the starters? Cool. Eggs Benedict, says Stu. Never had it, but it sounds good. Well, Eggs Benedict is a breakfast dish, not a starter, isn't it? Or am I getting that wrong? I'm sure it's a breakfast dish. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. Pardon me, no pardons, Bernard. Yes, Minister. Thank me, no thankings. Here we go. Alan. Smoked salmon with salmon mousse is a go-to. And scallops and black pudding if ordering in a restaurant. So you would serve smoked salmon with salmon mousse. Okay. Right. If I was serving a starter, then it would depend on the theme of the meal. So I'm going to give you a couple. My favorite starter to make and to serve, it works really well for dinner parties because you can prepare it in advance and all of that. Bruschetta. I make an amazing bruschetta. And I love to eat it as well as loving to serve it. And I think that works really, really well for dinner parties because it's so easy to do. Problem with dinner parties is hosting, really, especially if you're not a couple. If you're a couple, so one's in the kitchen and one is hosting and pouring the drinks and whatnot, then that's easier. But if you're a solo host, then you need to think about the food carefully. Otherwise, you're going to be absent from your guests, and you're not going to be hosting. You're going to be chefing. But yeah, bruschetta, I love serving that as a starter. Other than that, well, if we were going down an Asian route, then it's easy. Momo. What an amazing starter. 4 pieces of momo. Who could want a better starter than that? Other than that, homemade soup is a popular one, but I've never made soup. That's something to put on my to-do list for this year. I must. I need to buy a soupy blendery thing, but yeah, I must get some recipes and I must make soup. I've talked about this. I want to eat soup for lunch a lot more often. Like, I think that soup should be my standard lunch, but a really good homemade soup, not something out of a supermarket tin. So, yeah, I must do that. Any other starters that I would serve? You can do some nice things with cold cuts, like Parma ham with melon, something like that. I've served that on several occasions. Yeah, can't think of that many more. Now, in terms of starters that I like to eat, um, gosh, say one that I mean, bruschetta. I love bruschetta. Absolutely adore that. Momo, what an amazing starter. I don't mind, like in a Chinese restaurant, something like, the salt and pepper chili chicken wings, that sort of thing, or even in like somewhere like TGI's or something, buffalo wings with a really hot sauce. That can be nice. I'm trying to remember the starters that I've had in when I was able to eat in like world level restaurants, but to be honest, I can't remember. I can't remember them. I probably couldn't pronounce them because, of course, the I haven't done many Michelin star restaurants in the UK. To be honest with you, I've done actually I've done very few. I've done Fishers where I got married, obviously. Other Michelin starred restaurants, the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty and I did what's his name's place? Ramon Blanc, Le Manoir au Quatre Saisons. Yeah, we did that. Um, and that might be it, actually. God, I've only done two Michelin starred restaurants in the UK. I can't think of another one. We haven't done any of the obvious ones that people do. We never went to Heston Blumenthal. We never went to any of Gordon Ramsay's places or anything like that. No, no. It always used to be abroad. It always used to be in France or Spain. And I can't remember any of the starters. I mean, there were bloody amazeballs, but if and it was more often in Spain than in France, um, because obviously, there was that road trip where we specifically did the three of the best five restaurants in the world, and I don't speak Spanish, so it was always a bit of a lottery. I mean, you knew that whatever you were going to get, it was going to be amazing, and I had a rule that if I ate at a Michelin star restaurant, then I ignored all of my normal preferences and likes and dislikes, and whatever they put in front of me, oh, unless it was cheese. But other than that, whatever they put in front of me, I just ate it, whether I thought I liked it or whether I didn't. Because when a Michelin starred chef puts something in front of you, even if it's something that you've hated all of your life, you're gonna love it when they do it, aren't you? Oh, we got some more song lyrics. Someone left the cake out in the rain, and I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe. Right, music quiz. That was Richard who left that. Music quiz. That song holds a record. What record does that song hold? Answers in the comments, please, and I will give kudos to the first person to come up with the right answer. It holds a very definite record. That song does. What is it? Breakfast, says Bad Books, was an apple. Dinner, he means lunch, was chicken salad, and tea, he means dinner, was vegan bangers for the first time ever, with mash and French beans and mange tout. Not impressed with the Linda McCartney vegan sausages. Oh dear. Uh, can't read that one, Steve. I don't entertain, says Jimmy Quinn. I stopped that years ago. Boaty, says Woodstock. I think what I would do what I think most like tomato soup with crusty bread and butter. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with tomato soup with crusty bread and butter. Now, the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty's best friend, Ro, she threw very posh dinner parties, and she made a homemade tomato soup as a starter. On a New Year's Day dinner party, and it was amazing. God, I'd love to make soup like that. I need to learn how to make soup. Steve says, pret a manger chicken and basil wrap from kind neighbours. Good evening, Boaty, says Steve. Hello, chap, says, oh, Captain Mustard, but he's here as Project Nigel. Good evening, Mustard. Mutar, says Steve. Start. Hey, Alan. Clark. Don't argue, Boaty. It is, says Stu. What is? I don't know what I'm supposed to not be arguing with. That envelope is a tad small to have an ample lady inside, says Andrew Buttigieg. Oh, is that what you were hoping for? An ample lady? Oh, dear. Winkles and cockles in a white wine jus, says Stu. Eaten with a toothpick like Slandidno in the 70s. The go-to starter when having guests for tea, says Mark, is hot cheesy prawn gratin. Easy to do. Oh, any pancakes today, Bertie asked Mr. Care. No, I don't do pancakes because I don't do anything sweet. Although obviously I am a massive tosser. I've got a voicemail to play on the subject of pancakes. Right, of course it is Pancake Day, Shrove Tuesday. Have any of you observed the tradition of making pancakes today? And if so, what did you do? Here, have a voice note.
Well, this is Tracy in Cardiff saying, you're all a bunch of tossers. I'm talking pancakes, of course. I'm having mine tomorrow because I'm not organised enough to get a delivery slot today. And I couldn't be bothered to go to the shop after working quite long hours. So never mind. But hope you all enjoyed yours.
There we are. So did we enjoy ours? Now, my mother used to observe Pancake Day, but I don't like pancakes because they're sweet, aren't they? And I just don't like anything sweet. The only thing I have that's remotely sweet is 3, 2, 1. The only thing I like that's remotely sweet is I like demerara sugar in my coffee. And I'm not joking, because jokes about sugar are rare. Jokes about brown sugar, demerara. I do that every time, don't I? I can only apologise. Uh, Mustard. So are you two climbing Noel Edmonds next time? Soup is really easy to make, says Mustard. Well, teach me. I've never done it. Uh, I'm definitely doing it, says Mustard. Not sure about Boatface. I'm up for any walk anywhere. Now, admittedly, yesterday you got me while I was ill, but yeah, I'm up for any walk anywhere. It's more fun with company. I've been doing it on my own, and it's much more fun with company. So if anybody invites me on a walk, then yeah, I am there in a heartbeat. Pate and oatcake, says Alan Simpson, are good as well. Bruschetta and Momo are both delightful. Boaty, says Woodstock, I would serve supermarket tin soup. It don't matter. Uh, the only supermarket tin soup I would serve would be the one I mentioned last night or the other night. Uh, Baxter's luxury beef consomme. That is superb. And I doubt that I could make anything as good as that myself. So my rule is, if you can't make it better yourself, then serve the supermarket stuff. If you can make it better yourself, then yeah, make it yourself. But if you're going to make it yourself and make something worse than you can get out of a tin, serve the tin, especially with sauces, right? Now, sauces are not easy to make, um, not proper sauces. And if you know that you're going to make a substandard sauce or you're likely to arse it up, get a ready-made one, but a really good one. Or if cheat ingredients are better than you can do yourself, use them. You'd be a fool not to. It's Lent tomorrow, says Stu. Well, it is if you not in my church. We don't do Lent in the Pastafarian church. In fact, in my church, we are still celebrating holiday, which, if you remember, holiday is, we've talked about this a million times. All mainstream religions have some form of midwinter celebration. Obviously, for Christians, it's Christmas. Um, and my church is no exception. Our midwinter festival is called Holiday. And during holiday, we are encouraged to drink copious amounts of alcohol, eat really good food, and have as much really good sex as is humanly possible. Um, and holiday begins somewhere around October, and it ends at some point in March. Nobody knows exactly when. Uh, so, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that we are still in holiday. So, well, yeah, cheers. A voice message, and it's from Simone. Right, we'll have that in a minute. Oh, Mark Prasada's joined us. Mark Prasad has joined us. Good evening, Boaty and Captain Mustard, and good evening, chap. This evening I've been mostly tossing pancakes. Ah, well done, you. Stu says pancakes are a faff. You have to eat them while you're cooking the next one. No matron or Emma yet, says Shelley. Well, they're not contractually obliged to be here for everyone. Boat used to sing for a living. I did. Moat. Ridiculous lyrics, says Mustard. And yeah, Moat is indeed. MacArthur's Park, yeah. I do know the answer, says Stu. What is it then? Alan says, is it the longest song to be played on the Ken Bruce post-Popmaster long song slot when he went for a poo? No. No, it's not, Alan. That is not the correct answer. Oh, but Stu will offer the victory to somebody else. That's kind of you. Andrew says, is it the highest charting song by an actor? No. No, Andrew. Because, of course, MacArthur's Park has been covered by a myriad of different artists, but the proper version is Richard Harris, of course. The longest version of a hit song in the top 10 on the Billboard 100, says Steve McDonald. That might be true, but it's not the one I was thinking of, although it's kind of related. I tried making pea soup with bacon bones, says Skick. Never worked out. Right, okay. Richard had a salad of some description, cold cuts of ham, potato salad, pastrami, Scotch eggs, cheese, and crackers. Alan bought the ingredients for pancakes, ran out of time, and he's out tomorrow night, so he's going to make pancakes on Thursday. Sugar and lemon are his things of choice. Pancakes don't have to be sweet, says Mustard. I only ever put lemon juice on. Oh, and Woodstock agrees. Boaty, pancakes with lemon on aren't sweet. Well, I don't see the point of them. Potato cakes are better, says Richard. Did you not even like a Little Chef Jubilee pancake, Boaty, asks our Little Chef guru, Alan. No, I never ate a Little Chef pancake, but my father adored them. Absolutely adored them. And he ate my share and a lot of other people shared of them. Oh, Simone is with us, hooked on classics, asking if we're all well. Oh, and somebody mentioned Emma, and here she is. Pancakes, says Emma, are milk or oat milk in my case, eggs and flour. Then you can add whatever you like. They don't have to be sweet. Lots of savoury toppings. Well, yeah, but so I couldn't eat them now anyway because I'm non-dairy. So, I suppose you could use oat milk. Yeah, you could use oat milk, couldn't you? I just don't see the point of it. I mean, whether they're sweet or not, they're a dessert thing, aren't they? And I don't do desserts. That's why the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty married me. Whenever we went out for a set course meal, she got two desserts. And the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty was a lady who had a separate dessert stomach. Didn't matter what she ate, starter, main, there was always room for dessert. And if it was a set menu, then she'd have room for two desserts, bless her. Yeah, I used to be like a ventriloquist when they were taking our order in the restaurant. And you said, what will your starter be, sir? I'll have the chicken wings, thank you. And your main, sir? I'll have the filet mignon, please, with salad. And your dessert, sir? And the other side of the table would pipe up. He'll have the creme brulee. Oh dear. Good evening, all. By the way, says Emma. I'm a bit quiet because I'm still tired and headachy. Oh, my sympathies. I'm still headachy too. Not as bad though. Not quite as bad. Shelley Denise says the vegan Heinz tomato soup is absolutely delicious. Is it? Richard says Mr. Lloyd strikes me as someone who would enjoy Baxter's Royal Game. Baxter's is good soup, isn't it? Oh, excuse me. Right, I tell you what. Let's have Simone's voice note, shall we? She might be wanting to get to bed, and I am a considerate host. The next voice that you hear will be from Devon. Oh.
Boaty, dear chap, don't forget to pound your box, as if Justin Trudeau was giving you a foot rub. But Angela Merkel farted right in your face after a nice hot curry. Tosser.
Thank you, Simone. Right. 1 box, darlings. £1, darlings. 1 pounded box, darlings. Oh, should we have a 1p savings update? Who else is doing the 1p savings, by the way? My Shawnee is doing it, and he started it 2 days before me, I think. So he's kind of ahead of me. But is anybody else doing it? Okay, we are on. Oh, today for me was day 57. So 57p was transferred into my 1p challenge savings pot. And my pot currently contains, on day 57, £16.53 of the King's new pence. There you are. That is your 1p savings challenge update for today. The box is a mystery. We don't know how much is in there. I wonder if anybody's been keeping count. Surely not. Surely not. Anyway, thank you for that, Simone. This is why I need to meet Simone, spend some time with her, because we have got minds that are similarly worryingly weird. I think that we would very much share the same humour and very much be on the same wavelength. Simone, you're on my list. Oh, I've just thought of something, and now you really are on my list. I'll explain in a few weeks. I reckon, says Alan Simpson, Mr. Lloyd would enjoy French onion soup too. Boaty, I want to join, says Mr. Kerr. What do you want to join? Richard says, I think furious driving is a Heinz tomato soup, man. Have I got any soup in the in at the moment? Oh, I have. I've got a tin of Sainsbury's own brand tomato and basil. But that's all I've got. I haven't got any consomme. Now, a consomme, the tin of the Baxter's luxury beef consomme, that's something I like to have in stock, like a Fray Bentos pie. It makes me feel comfortable. And as I said the other night when I mentioned them, they are expensive. They're about £2.50 for a tin of soup for one. But if you shoplift them, they're free. And that's worth remembering. It can't be the most ridiculous lyric, says Emma, because there's a moose loose. Oh, what? Moose in my house. I thought it was a deer, and now it's really clear. Is even weirder. I've never heard that one. Oh, but this one I'm familiar with, Stu. There's a moose loose within this house. I'm going across the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. Are we doing weird lyrics now? Okay. Simone's got work to do on her 75, and it's quite a bit too. Boaty, oat milk is not dairy. I know that. I do know that. And yeah, I knew that because Carol has oat milk. She carries it with her. I'm with Mrs. Boaty, says Alan. Well, I hope you'll be very happy together. She's a fine-looking woman. She changed her profile picture on Facebook the other day, and very splendid she looks too. The dessert stomach is a thing, yeah. I just love any event or tradition, says Emma. So Pancake Day is always a thing that happens in our house. I've been tossing all evening. That's probably why I have a headache. Hubnut probably has packet soup, something with noodles and mushrooms. Oh, Ian, bless him. He does eat crap when he's at. Oh, Christ. Oh, hell's teeth. Peter P has sent a voice note. Oh, God. I've seen Hubnut eat some right crap when he's out and about on his own, um, but Miss Hubnut strikes me as somebody who could whip up some very decent food. Oh, Yorkshire puddings. Have you? Yeah, Yorkshire puddings. They've got dairy, haven't they? Um, oh, so you don't eat Yorkshire pudding now? Well, I won't when I run out of. Do you know the? I have to be told because I'm crap at doing any research. I have to be told when there are things that I can't eat that I don't think about when it comes to dairy. It's like we were talking about KFC, and Carol messaged me and said, "Heads up, you can't have KFC. It's got milk powder in the chicken coating," and I would never have known that. And it would have never have occurred to me that, yeah, of course, Yorkshire pudding has got it's got milk and stuff. Well, it's certainly got dairy in it. So I presume that even the frozen ones have got dairy. Now, I haven't bought Yorkshire puddings recently, and my rule is that anything that I've already got that's got dairy in it, I'm going to eat it because I'm not going to let it go to waste. I don't believe in wasting food. But yeah, Yorkshire pudding. Oh God, Yorkshire puddings are off the menu. Oh, oh, now that. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. No Yorkshire puds. You know, this could work well. This could work well because I've not made any promises about anything else. Any of the changes that I've made, eating less meat, trying to eat vegan 50% of the time, blah, blah, blah. Not making any promise about anything like that. But the dairy is a thing. And I have committed to being dairy free, or at least being dairy free, not being, at, at least, how can I put this? Not eating dairy knowingly. And so I hadn't thought about Yorkshire pudding, so good point. Now, so I won't eat Yorkshire puddings. I've got some frozen Yorkshire puddings in there. When they're gone, that's it. No more Yorkshire pudding. And that means that I won't eat beef because I can't imagine eating beef without Yorkshire pudding. So that's like a win-win because, and the only beef I eat is roast beef, I think. I think that's correct. So, yeah, I think that's correct. Do I eat anything else that's beef? So if I'm not eating Yorkshire puddings, and that then means that I'm not eating beef, then that's another animal that I'm not eating. And I like cows. I know cows can be dangerous, but I like cows. I think they're lovely. And I would feel better about myself if I didn't eat cows. So that's a win-win. No more Yorkshire puddings. That means that I won't be eating beef. So that means that my Sunday lunches going forward will be chicken. I don't give a shit about chickens. And this is why. This is why I am unlikely to ever become a full vegetalist, because I genuinely don't care about chickens. And I know that's awful. And I know that there are many people who keep chickens and who love them and who save old battery farm chickens, and fair play to them. And I'm wrong. You people are right. The vegetabilists are correct. The vegans are correct. But at this moment in time, I can't give too much of an arse about chickens. Now, not eating lamb, yeah, I'm all over that. All over that. Don't want to eat lamb. I love lambs. Not eating cows, all over that. I love cows. Chickens, couldn't give an ass. I'll eat them till the cows come home. Oh, non-intentional pun. So, and I'm not overly bothered on pigs either. Now, I know this is a very hypocritical form of choosing what to eat, and any meat that I do eat has to be responsibly and organically sourced and all of that and local. But that's okay. I'm comfortable with my Sunday lunches going forward being chicken with chipolata sausages, stuffing, and all the other bits and pieces. Yeah, I can live without Yorkshire puddings, and I can live without. Never thought I'd say this. I can live without beef. Oh, steak! Steak! Oh, now then, steak. Fuck it. I'll go without steak. I'm going to stop eating cows. I am going to stop eating cows. Right? I can't take the moral high ground here. I'm not a vegetalist. I'm not a veganist. But I don't eat lambs. And from now on, I don't eat cows unless I've got something that's beef in there. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to eat beef. I'm not going to eat Yorkshire pudding. And I never thought I'd say this. I'm not going to eat steak. I'm not going to eat steak unless it's out in a restaurant and somebody else pays for it. Oh, beef burgers. I eat beef burgers. Oh, God, I love a beef burger. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to eat cows. I'm going to eat cows. I'm just not going to eat Yorkshire puddings with them. Oh, dear. Tosser sounds great in a West Country accent, says Alan, as does Codswallop. Codswallop. I just have a weird dark humour, says Simone. So do I. So does Mustard. I don't do the 1p savings thing, says Emma. Oh, you've told us this before. Because towards the back end of the year is when I need the most money available. Because don't you end up having to put loads in during the final months? Well, I mean, depends what you mean by loads. On the last day, you have to put £3.65 in, which isn't a huge amount of money. But the point is, and I said this to you the last time you raised this, if you needed the money in October, withdraw the money in October and use it. You would still have 10 months worth of savings that you might not have had otherwise. But there we are. For me, it's a birthday thing. It's my birthday next year. I think it's a good wheeze because let's face it, for the first 100 days, you're not going to notice it, are you? For the first 100 days, it's going to be less than £1. So you're probably not going to really notice that going out your account. So even if you just did the first 100 days, that would be, a fair few quid bunged together that you wouldn't have noticed going missing, but it would buy something. Maybe, I don't know. Well, it would pay for a couple of tickets to Alton Towers or something. Your religion, says Mr. Care. Oh, that was oh, you want to join my church? Oh, okay. Well, everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. You don't have to make any changes or jump through any hoops. We accept everybody. If you want to become a member of the Pastafarian Church, you just have to say, yeah, I'm a member of the Pastafarian Church. And that's it. You're in. Boom. Job done. Doesn't cost you a penny. You don't have to kill anybody. I was putting away the odd $1 or $2 coins some time back, says Andrew. I did save enough to pay for the car registration. Oat milk is powdered Weetabix with water, says Stu. Ah. Oh, right. Some lyrics from Men at Work. I put oat milk in your fridge when I was there, says Emma. I remember you were very confused about my choice of where to stick it. I don't remember that. Ah, Boaty, you can just make Yorkshire puddings with oat milk and then they don't have to be off the menu. Boom. Boom. Why don't you make a batch of Yorkshire puddings using oat milk and then just freeze them and defrost as and when you want them? Genius. Genius. Sorted. Right. And beef burger, says Mr. K. Yeah, I forgot about that. Why no dairy, says Poppy's Travels. It's good fat. Have you seen what's in the plant-based stuff? Yuck. And I've been a veggie for many years, but I wouldn't eat plant-based food. Why no dairy? Cruelty. It's cruel. Simple as that. No more McDonald's burgers then. Oh dear. Oh, and Alan says no beef may affect your McDonald's visit. Yeah, look, I'm eating cow. I'm eating cow. I hadn't thought that through. No steak fry, bentos, no burgers at restaurant. Yeah, I know. I didn't think it through. I'm going to eat cows. I'm going to eat cows. I'm sorry, cows. I'm going to eat you. Well, part of you. And Emma's having a laugh. Fuck it. I'm going to eat cows after all that deliberation. I forgot about burgers and stuff. Boaty, what is the most unusual meat you've eaten on your travels? Asks Simone. God, I don't know. I've eaten snake, kangaroo, buffalo, obviously. I think the weirdest one was ostrich. Ostrich. One of Lisa's closest friends was an ostrich farmer near where we lived in Devon, and he did an ostrich roast, and he introduced his guests to the ostriches, and I'd read that you have to alpha them because they're quite aggressive. So you have to hold your hand up like that. Oh, you have to hold your hand up like that, making your hand your head so that you're bigger than they are. And I got into a right old scrap with an ostrich. And I said, right, this was before the roast, a couple of days before. I said, right, that bastard there that's just had me, I want to eat that one. He said, right, okay. And I did. I ate I ate that one. Oh dear. Boaty would never refuse a fillet steak in a peppercorn and mushroom sauce. I would, Richard, because I don't do mushrooms, but a fillet steak in a peppercorn. I can never stop eating cows. Oh God, I'm going to go to hell, and I'm a terrible hypocrite. I can't. Oh God, a fillet steak with peppercorn sauce. Oh, yeah, yeah. You're right. I don't like mushrooms. Oh, the sauce doesn't have to contain milk. I've always had a non-dairy peppercorn sauce because I don't like the taste of it. I don't like creamy sauces. So whenever I make peppercorn sauce, it is dairy free. And if I go to a restaurant, I ask them to make me a dairy free peppercorn sauce. And if the restaurant says they can't do that because the peppercorn sauce comes already done, then I get up and leave because I don't want to eat at a restaurant that can't make their own bloody sauce. Lobster was a bit disappointing to me, says Skick. Richards had dolphin in Japan, crocodile and kangaroo. Oh, I did crocodile. My dad always had an octopus in his freezer, says Emma. What's cruel about dairy? Asked Poppy's Travels. Do some research. I'm not gonna bang on about it, but the cruelest aspect of eating animals or animal derivatives is dairy. It's horrendous. Now, okay, there's obviously a level of cruelty in killing an animal to eat it, but if the animal leads a decent life up until that point and is humanely killed, then that's one thing. Dairy is quite another. The idea of it's just on an emotional level, it's awful. It's like torture. Killing something is one thing, torturing it and keeping it alive, that's another. And dairy is just horrendously cruel, and I don't want to do it. I'm not going to lecture you. Do your own research. Google why is dairy cruel. Maybe a lot of people don't think it is, or they're fine with it, and that's cool. I'm not going to lecture them. I'm not going to get into the argument. I've always tried to be, all of my life, most of my life, because my grandparent, there was farming on my grandparents' side in Wales, and there were opinions. All of my life, I've tried to be largely dairy free. This year, it was pointed out to me that the only dairy that I do is butter. I choose not to do all other dairy out of principle. Being that close to being completely non-dairy, why not just give up butter as well? Was what was pointed out to me, and then I'm not being hypocritical. I can pat myself on the back. And so I thought, yeah, that makes sense. I asked what was the best butter equivalent to buy. I was told this. I've used it. It's grand. And so, yeah, now dairy free. Right, let's open this gift from Skick, shall we? And it's almost time to say goodnight. Time has flown, darlings. Time has flown. Oh, what could this be? Oh, God. Really? Well, there's about as much chance of me putting this on my head as me putting a dead badger on my head. Especially given the fact that I love Ukraine, I lived in Ukraine, I love Ukrainian people, I respect Ukrainian people, and given what happened in the last couple of days, this is the gift. I'm going to burn this. Yeah. Yeah. It's a very kind thought, Skip, and it's the thought that counts, and I thank you very much. I was horrified to see that Zelensky has chosen, or more likely been forced to, kowtow and back down to the outrageous situation that he was subjected to. And again, let me remind all of you that America and the West in general made a categoric. Ukraine, at the time of the dissolvement or the dissolution of the USSR, the Soviet Empire, the Soviet Republic, Ukraine, and listen to this because some of you won't know this, Ukraine was the third biggest nuclear power in the world, the third biggest. So the equivalent of like China now. You had you had America, you had Russia, and then you had Ukraine, third biggest, bigger than UK, bigger than France, immense nuclear arsenal. And at the time of the dissolution of the USSR, that was seen as an unacceptable threat. Ukraine wanted to distance themselves from Russia. They were not Russian, they were a sovereign territory, they'd been absorbed into the USSR. They were told that they needed to voluntarily surrender their nuclear arsenal, third biggest in the world. The reward for doing that was acceptance to the West and an absolute categoric guarantee from America and the West that Ukraine would be protected by all measures and beyond question should they be subjected to any future aggression. And what happens? This is what happens. And Europe are remaining true to their word and legal obligation, not to the extent that they should do, because I believe I'm a man who, my word is my bond. I do not break my promises. I believe that all of Europe should be fighting with Ukraine. If it causes World War III, it causes World War III. But we should all, and our armed forces should all be fighting with Ukraine. And that obviously applies to, America should be sticking to their word and sticking to their legal obligations. America was the biggest voice in wanting to disarm Ukraine. But there you go. What does that tell you? You can't trust Americans. Yeah. Anyway. Diddly-doo. Let's have a look. I make a keema with beef rather than lamb, says Mustard. The important bit is the method and the spices, not the meat. There's some truth in that. Then we're talking about didgeridoos. I bought that vegan butter last week, says Steve, not knowing what it was. It was a blind test and it's beautiful. The only dairy I consume is milk, cheese, butter, and yogurt, says Simone. Well, that's plenty, isn't it? A MAGA hat. How strange. Indeed, Josh. Indeed. I would love to take a dump in that hat, says Simone. Yeah. Right, it's kind of time to say good night, darlings, isn't it? Yeah, we've gone midnight. So on that note, I'm going to wrap it up and call it a night. Thank you. Oh, God, my hand is looking. Look at that. Oh, so much better. Right, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Let's call it a night. I could do with another good night of Kip. So, excuse me. Thank you so much for your company. I have enjoyed tonight. I'm really grateful to you for giving me your time and the community your time, of course. Let me wish you. Oh, there was something I was going to tell you. Oh, right. MacArthur's Park, the longest song ever to be a UK number one. That was the fact that I was thinking of. The Richard Harris version of MacArthur's Park is the longest song ever to go to number one in the UK. There you go. So, yeah, have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you possibly can tomorrow. And thank you so much for your company. The candle will be relit same time, 11 o'clock tomorrow night, Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, much love from me. Can't wait to see you next time. So on that note, pachoo! And indeed, oh yes, bosh.